Hey everybody, it's Jeff. This is going to be part 18 of the Thunder Model Scammell transporter build, 1/35th scale. Still got some company in the house, so it's pretty early in the morning. I wanted to try and just make a quick little video before the house started getting noisy. Last night I found a few minutes and I clipped out the major pieces for the cab and just cleaned up the seams, and I taped it all together. I found 2 or 3 issues, nothing I couldn't fix. But I'll show you. I'll go down the bench and I'll show you. And I've had several people ask me, a few people ask me about stretching sprue. It's not hard. It does take a little practice. So I'll show you how I do it. And if you want to practice a little bit, I'm sure you'll get really good at it too, okay? All right, let's go down the bench and I'll show you what I got going on here. I'm not going to be able to do really much today because of the company, but see you in a minute. Thanks. I had a few people ask me about how I go about stretching sprue. It is something that takes some practice, and it has been a little while since I've actually done it. But I'll go ahead and give it a try here on camera, and we'll see how it comes out, because I still need another piece for the kit I'm building. I just use like a lighter. You can use a candle, just a heat source. I use some old cutters I have. I don't use my good cutters for like cutting the big parts of the sprue. Just cut yourself a piece. The trick to this is to watch for when it turns shiny. It'll start to sag. I'll show you here. You just heat it a little bit. You don't have to be like in the flame or anything. You just kind of heat it a little bit, and as soon as it starts to turn shiny, it'll start to sag. See it? There it goes right there. Okay. Now this one is a little, I didn't heat it quite enough, and then just give it a nice steady little pull. And you can feel when it starts giving resistance. See, so that's about as far as that one's going to go. Okay, if you get it just right, you can pull a long piece, but that's kind of how you do it. Okay, and then after it cools just a second. That's it. That's a little too thick for what I want. So I'll try another one here real quick, and we'll heat it a little bit more. Fact is, I might be able to just do a little more here on this end. Just keep yourself around. You know, when you finish a kit, cut yourself out, you know, a few pieces of the straighter chunks of the sprue, and throw them in a drawer or a box or something and keep them around, because you never know when it's going to be handy to have it. But just watch for the slump. Watch for when it heats up. It doesn't take very much, and you don't need to get the plastic right in the flame. You just need to get it to where it's just, there it goes right there. Okay. See, in that one there, I didn't get heated quite enough, or I didn't heat it evenly enough, so it's kind of stretching to one end. That might be just about right for what I need. Okay, and I'm still stretching. I've seen guys that do this all the time. You know, they'll take a little piece of plastic that's maybe 3-4 inches long, and they'll stretch it out to a foot, and they'll have a piece that's like, you know, a hair. Works really good for antennas and that kind of thing. So that's kind of how you do it. I might be able to get you a little bit closer here. Let's go ahead and try another one. Like I say, it does take practice. So don't get discouraged if you do a couple pieces and it doesn't work, or it doesn't quite come out to the size you want. You just got to practice at it. But just get it to where it slumps good. The plastic will turn shiny just as it's starting to get soft enough. Okay. See, and that one there is not going to do too good. It's going to be kind of odd. Yeah, maybe it will. That one's going pretty well. I thought it was going to be like real chunky on one end and real thin on the other, but that one's doing pretty good. What's neat about this is if you need like a real thin little tube, yeah, that one turned out pretty good. When you stretch it, it still is a tube, so it'll have a real small little hole in the center. It doesn't really work real well for like, other shapes like square things and stuff. It doesn't really retain its shape, but it's kind of neat because you can take a tube that's, maybe a millimeter around, and you stretch it and you get something that's really, really tiny, but it's still got that hole through it. Anyway, that's kind of how you do it. I know that's over that mat, maybe you can't see it so much, but that's how it's done. It just takes practice. You can clip that off, and sometimes it'll be thicker at one end, thinner at the other, which this one is a little bit. Just pick the section that's the right, right diameter for what you need, and, keep them around. A lot of times I'll stretch, a dozen of them or something, just to throw in my drawer, and then I don't have to mess with getting all the stuff out and stretching sprue for every project I need. I can just grab some that I've already done. It doesn't take much, just kind of, as soon as it starts to slump, if you heat it kind of over a bigger area, I think you'll get a better, there you go, you can see what it's doing. And then just a nice slow, don't jerk it, just a nice slow steady speed. And then once it starts to, see, I can feel it giving me resistance now. So that's about as far as that one's going to go. Then if you wait, for it to cool a little bit, then there you got a little piece of rod, just the diameter you need. Alrighty guys, give me a minute and I'll be right back, okay? Thanks. Okay, I haven't had a whole lot of time because we've got company in the house, but I taped up the cab just to see how parts fit. It does fit real well. Got a couple of issues, nothing that we can't take care of, in fact, as I've already taken care of some of them. The piece here on the back, if I've got something to point with, the plastic right here in this corner was extremely thin. You could pretty much see through it, and it was cracked and kind of separated. I'll put a picture up. Let's go over here so I can put a picture up over here, right in here. It's no big deal to put some glue in it and pull it back together and sand it. The trick is to do it before you start painting, So I may actually need to do a little more sanding to get rid of that. And then the floor here was warped pretty badly. I'll show you some more pictures, but the front here was tipped up like this pretty badly. Both corners were tipped up. So what I did was I took a hairdryer and I just heated it up really good. You got to be careful doing that, because if you do it too much, then your plastic just kind of turns to mush. Even a hairdryer is enough to do that if you're not careful. But I did that, and I kind of flexed it a little bit and got it about right, and then I clamped it down to something flat. And I'll show you another picture where I got that out completely. Okay, so this is kind of giving you a little bit of an idea of how the cab's going to look when it sits on there. I don't have, really for sure, I don't know where the cab is going to locate. Something approximately like this. I still got a lot to do, but that gives you an idea of kind of what it's going to look like. It's actually going to cover a good part of the winch. So the other thing, and this is just taped, so we can pull it apart here with no problems. Ejector pin marks. Let's get this apart. There are a lot of ejector pin marks on the inside of this, so I'm going to need to do some filling and sanding. There are some of them that are going to be hidden, but there's going to be a lot of them that are not. Okay. I'm sure the company's going to be getting up here real soon, so I'm not going to be able to record much, but I got 4 big ejector pin marks there, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more there, so there's like 10 of them just in this piece. I think you can, yeah, you can see some of those there. So I'll fix those. Get this off of here. This is pretty good. I didn't really notice any issues with this at all. Get this apart real quick. I'll work on this stuff a little bit when I can find a quiet minute. This is where that crack was up here in this corner. I can still see it a little bit. I'll have to, it's glued in solid now, but I'll have to do a little sanding. Anyway, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ejector pin marks there, and I'm not sure how many of them are going to be seen, but I'll go ahead and fill all of those. And oops, lots of tape. This is just cheap tape, so works good for just check and fit. Okay. These have got 2 on the inside. I'm pretty sure those are going to be seen. This one's got the same thing. It's got 2 on the inside. I don't know if you can see them or not. There's 1 here and 1 here. And this one has got a bunch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I need to work on, because I think those will all be seen. And same thing on this, there's 5 on that. On this, hang on here, all the ejector pin marks are on the bottom, and I'm probably going to go ahead and fill them just to be on the safe side. There's a bunch of supports that they want you to glue in, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one probably won't be seen. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like a dozen ejector pin marks on the bottom of this. It's got a really nice wood grain on the top side. And then this is the center divider here. And there's 3 ejector pin marks here that are going to be behind like seat backs. So those don't need to be filled. There's one down here I'm not sure about. I'll probably go ahead and fill that. And then this side is okay. So I got a lot of filling to do. It's going to keep me busy for a little while just doing that. And then sanding and all that stuff. But that's probably about all I'm going to have time for today. Before it's going to start getting kind of noisy around here. So I'll work on filling this stuff off camera. You guys practice your sprue stretching. That's a tongue twister, and you'll be really surprised at how many different uses you'll find for it, for antennas and all that kind of stuff. You can get creative with it and use it for all different kinds of things. That's the nice thing about styrene is you know, it's very versatile. You can cut it and sand it and melt it and all kinds of stuff. So there's the cab, the majority of it. I still got the doors and stuff I've got to look at. They may need some filling too, and then we'll start looking at all the details and stuff of getting this put together. Okay, that's about all I'm going to have time for today, guys. So you guys have a great day, and practice your stretching your sprue, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye bye.